It's 9 o'clock. Are you stuck? We're on. How you doing? How are you doing? It's been a tough week for me. I just had too much going on, too busy, too busy, too busy. I thought my Thursday would never end. And I think finally when I went upstairs to rest, I don't remember if I went right to sleep. I do remember when I woke up at 2, all the lights were on. The lights were on, the TV was on, I was awake, okay, but only for a minute. I was just that exhausted. My yesterday was just very, very busy. I ended up having 4 things to do after I ran my Rotary meeting, and then I had another meeting after that, and then there was Global Learning Academy going over to assist with serving young people while their parents, had an opportunity. Actually, the parents and the young people at the school. We did that from our Rotary Club, and then I still went to um, choir rehearsal. So I did a lot yesterday, and it showed in my ability or my non-ability to stay awake. But I'm up this morning, happy as can be, coming up with another idea. I woke up with this idea of VISTA. What is a VISTA? And I just said, wow, and I had these ideas of, things that at one time used to be real up close, and I conquered them. And I said, those are vistas. Those are when you take, an experience that you want to have and you put it into action where you actually have it. I said that's good stuff. So that's what our discussion is going to be about today is the Vista. And I'm waiting for a few folks to come in. I see that there's 2 there, and not everybody pops in. A lot of people, as I've told you, they look at this after they get off of work. Let's face it. I know I'm on during the time that most people, if they have a job, if they're out of their house, or and some of them are in their house work. And since, hey Debbie, how are you? I'm here. Morning to morning to you, sweet pea. How are you? I tell you, I posted that picture about my sister, and thank you so much. My sister has been gone almost 30 years. I think it is 30 years. I think this year was 30 years. And I just remember her as, this vibrant, vibrant soul who always had plans, always was planning, always had vistas, always, And the fact that she left when she was young, I was young, and I looked at that as a real loss. When I was thinking about it, I said 4/18, that's my sister's birthday. And so I put something online, and we don't even think that when we have people around us that their visions might be our visions as long as we can see them, but when they disappear. And that's what I thought happened with my sister. She had all of these things that she wanted to do, but she passed away young and didn't get to do all of them. So, we have that thing I talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is how can we be grateful? How can we realize that gratefulness is important? The fact that we still can see, hear, and do, and some people are limited in what they can even say, if they can say it, or what they can see, or where they can actually make their way to. So I am grateful for that. But anyway, I found this poem this morning, and it's really short because it really is a vista point. Your sister was beautiful. Wasn't she cool? My sister was the coolest thing. I had to tell you this funny thing about my sister. My sister used to bite her fingernails, and I did too when I was really, really little. But as I got older and I went off to school, I used to look at all the other young ladies, and I said, "Oh, that's just terrible." So I stopped. I stopped doing that. well, well, so are you. I know. Thank you. But anyway, and so are you. But anyway, I stopped doing it. And my sister finally came over to the house one day, and she was sitting there and I was fixing dinner. And and I to this day, my niece, my daughter, and I can laugh about what I told my sister. But she was all ready to eat, and she had her hands up on the table, and I says, take those feet off my table. Oh my God, what did I do that for? We laughed for hours. Every time I looked at her, she started laughing and she had tears. We all had tears, but it was the turning point. She stopped. She stopped biting her fingernails. And when I would see her, her nails were not just long, they were long, and they were her natural nails. All of a sudden, she took an interest in how these nails should look. And I just always used to get such a kick about that. So that was my way of freezing her concept of putting hands on the table that I said claimingly looked like feet. They didn't, but I was just pinching her a little bit. It was fun. It was fun, and I do miss her greatly and love her dearly. The fact that she was just that funny and could laugh at it, but it was a cool memory. Thank you so much. So anyway, our word is Vista, and here's what I have for today, and it's by Antonio um, Machado, um, and it says, "As you walk, you make your own road, and when you look back, you see the path. You will never travel again." It's heavy. I'll say it again. As you walk, you make your own road. And when you look back, you see the path, but you may never travel again. Ugh, you'll never travel it again. So I always make paths. I got to be honest. Every week I have a new path. I'm going to travel a new way. I'm going to look at something, the idea, a concept, something. And every time I decide on a new word, I come up with a path of how am I going to address it. Because even though I make these words up, they're all personal. That's why when I'm asking you words, I'm asking what would you personally choose if you were writing up the same thing for yourself? Because I'm saying that we can take one word and break it into so many meanings that it changes how we feel, not only about the word, but about what actions can be taken from those words. So that's what I do. It's a window. It's a window. I'm trying to open up the window and give you some new ideas. So Vista, what is Vista? And I'll ask you again, are you stuck occasionally on the vistas that you have? It's personal. So it says a vista is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. So a vista is imagination. It could be inventiveness, innovation. Could be your intuition, your inspiration. It could be your perception, your insight, and your foresight. So Vista is actually pretty powerful. If we put it into action, we can be doing something that we've only imagined. And then finally, when we put legs on it, it walks, it talks, it moves. That's because that's us moving forward. It walks, it talks. We walk, we talk, we move forward in an idea that we're moving into something different that we hadn't experienced before and may never experience again. We'll have other experiences. They may even be relatable. They may be similar, but it is what it is. So we also talk about how we break this word down. So when we break the word down, I start with my V. And for my V, I have to have a vista. I have to have a vision. I have to be able to see something. It's either going to be in my head or it might be visually that I see something off in the distance that I'm claiming to be mine. So the vista is the ability to think about a plan for the future with imagination. Once again, it's looking at what's out there. How can I find this? It says it's going to be my creativity and my imagination. That is my vision. my creativity and my imagination. That means I may see something and like it, but then I get involved in it and I love it. And then I'm able to build on that love of it. How do I do that? What do I do it with? Let's see, values. Ooh, I love that. Because most of us must value something in order for us to get through it. We put some value in it. We put it in relationships, we'll put it into work, into education. But we saw it originally as our VISTA, as our plan for our future, our VISTA. We envisioned ourselves being in it and we made it through. So we move on in the word. My I is for what is my itinerary. And the reason I put itinerary there is because it's a planned route. It's a journey. You can't say that you're going to take a trip and not plan it out. Now, I know some people are impromptu. I know some people are, no plans necessary. Let's go. I'm not. I have to plan it. I have to know where I'm going to stay. I have to know how much it's going to cost. How long am I going to be away? What am I going to see either along the way? Are we going to stop? Or are we going to do special adventures while we're there? I want to know the plans. So my VISTA has to have an itinerary. That's me. Somebody else that may not require that. Ideas, that's good too. You must have ideas, But my itinerary says it must be planned. I must have a route. I must understand the journey. You can't convince me to get on a plane going nowhere. No, thank you. Okay, I'm not going on a train nowhere. I'm not getting in a car and not know where I'm going, unless you drug me, and that won't happen. That will not happen. An itinerary also talks about it being arranged. It's an arrangement that takes place, and it's also a schedule. How do we get our schedules to, meet, to correlate? It says also it could be a flight and it could be just traveling. That's what an itinerary really does. It identifies what's being done, when it's being done, how it's being done. When I traveled for the government, the travel agent always sent over what my itinerary was, how long my layovers were going to be, where would I be going next, how many legs is it that before I get to my final destination. To me, that made sense. It made sense to me. But some people, they can travel by the seat of their pants. There's nothing is planned. I don't like it. I can't do it. I'm just not good with that. I'll tell you now. So I'm gonna be asking questions. You'd be telling me to shut up. Good morning, Maurice. Maurice is a traveler. Maurice, do you have an itinerary when you have these vistas? You and Wendelin, do you all come up with how you're gonna plan, when you're gonna leave, how much it's gonna cost? That I always have an itinerary. That's just Sandy. Okay, my S in VISTA is for my standard. I have a certain standard. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, I don't want to go and I don't want to be at a Motel 6 where they leave the light on. I don't care about their light. I don't want to be there in the first place. So I'm going to have to stay in a certain place. I have a certain standard for that place. My preference would really be the Ritz-Carlton, but I can't afford the Ritz-Carlton, so I'll take something below Ritz-Carlton, but certainly nothing that's getting, reviews of a 2 and a 1. And no, thank you. No, thank you. Every once in a while, I've, gone someplace and the hotel was so bad, I left. I backed out the room with saying, nope, can't stay here. And I tell them that, even though I should have, notified you ahead of time of a cancellation, but the room is not worth staying in. So therefore, I'm demanding my money back. And they gave it back. They gave it back. My T in VISTA, sanity. You ain't lying. That's a good word. We need our sanity. I need to be, I got other words. I want to be safe. I want to be safe. I certainly want to be, I'm going to say sacred, that the place is holy enough to stay in. I don't want nothing going on that's crazy. I want to be satisfied. All of those S's work for me. And sanity would be one. Absolutely. I don't want to go there and get crazy, feeling like something's crawling or it's, nothing's working or the bed has a swag in it. No, thank you. No, thank you. My T is for travel. I believe that when you have a VISTA, it's not right next to you. It's something that you have to work for. You have to travel to get to. And it says going from one place to another, typically over a distance of some length. But it also could just be moving to move, typically in a constant or predictable way, meaning you know the direction you're going in. You have an idea, how to get there, where you're going to get there, how you're going to get there. It all makes sense. So it says that you're on the move, that you proceed because you have a way of proceeding. You realize it's an advancement from where you're located to going someplace else. The T is for taken often. Yes, yes. Sometimes we do need to do that often. I know Joan is a cruiser. You're a cruisers. You and your wife are cruisers. Joan and her husband are cruisers. I've never gotten on a cruise. I took a hydrofoil from Sicily into the mainland of Italy, and that was enough for me. That. And then I went on a boat trip one time. They were going to have fishing and everything, and I had enough of that too after being sick for 45 minutes until they finally said, well, we're going to take you back. Couldn't have said it fast enough. But, I didn't do the patch and all that. But next time, if I ever get up the nerve to take a cruise, I know I probably need probably several patches and a drink. And I don't drink. So let's see how that goes. But to travel, it says that you're moving, you're advancing, you're progressing. And you might be carrying your ideas with you, what you want to do when you get there, or you planned them out through your itinerary. You've set your standards high of how you want things to go. You've decided on how this trip or trips, because it may be a series of trips that you're doing. Oh, visit, that's good. Visit. Yeah, that was from Vision earlier. Good morning, Ardelia. Good morning, good morning. You know what? I have to tell you that sometimes when I finish my sessions, I see that I have messages from you or entries, posts from you that don't show up on my screen. So don't think I'm trying to avoid you. I don't see them. I don't see them until the entire screen is released on the other side of Facebook, because you all come in on Facebook, but I work from a different platform. But sometimes I guess the platform only allows so many to come in. So I don't always see it. But good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Carney. Traveling, that's right. Traveling is a good thing. So far, the word is VISTA, and that's the ability to think about plans for the future. It's your imagination and your wisdom. So with that, I said vision, the fact that, we have our ability to see and plan. I say we make itineraries, because this is a time that most people, if they're going to plan a vacation, they usually plan it during the spring and summer and early fall type of year, because otherwise they're worried about getting caught with, delayed or canceled flights, or trains not working, or something going on. So yes. And then we did standard, which is setting the bar high for yourself, or whatever the bar is. So we're on travel, and yes, traveling is good. And takeover. How about takeover? Taking over certainly would be what I would do if I'm going on a trip and it's not going the way, I like it planned. I might have to speak on that and say, look, we should have planned this out a little bit better. It's costing more money than what it was originally supposed to cost. We didn't plan this right. And every once in a while, when you have this idea of what this VISTA may be, you end up kind of snowed under. Not that it was intentional, but just that we didn't plan enough. So sometimes our planning even has to go in a bigger direction that we don't just plan, but we plan for even what, what might be the unexpected. So we plan for the expected and the possibility of unexpected. The other day, I planned a trip. It's not a far trip, it's a local trip. And they had already sent me, I'd already made reservations at the hotel, and it ended up that the reservations were, I could cancel up to the day before, 24 hours. And then they said somebody else from the same company sent me another coupon, and the coupon was better than the deal that I originally had, and it saved me 200 and some odd dollars. So I called the hotel and made the second reservation, which you couldn't, which didn't, what they did, here's what they did. What they did is they made it where if you book right then and there and there was no possibility for cancellation, you would get the difference of the $200 less. So I said, well, I called my friend girl and I said, hey, what you think? She said, let's do it. So we did it. We went ahead and we took the chance, and I canceled the other one and I got the lower price. And what's the difference? I'd have had to pay it next week anyway, so we're good. We're good. So anyway, sometimes we have to look at our A as our adventure. Our adventure. Our adventures are, you know, what we plan to do. We don't know what we're going to find once we get there. But yes, it is an arrangement. That's good, Debbie. That's good. It is an arrangement. It's an arrangement beyond what we might have imagined. We might have imagined it going this way and it goes that way. So we have to look at how all that goes. So the adventure, it says it's an unusual and exciting way. Sometimes it could be a little hazardousness to it because we don't know what we're going to encounter. But nonetheless, we still plan it. And maybe experience or maybe an activity. Somebody was talking to me one time and they said, would I ever consider doing rock climbing? Well, it's not just no, but it's hell no. Because I know that, you have to hold on and, and then you have to make sure your footing is correct. And I could just see myself saying, I am too scared for that. So I couldn't do the rock climbing, but I would do a long distance hike. That I think would be a lot of fun. I would also, I tried the horseback ride and I wasn't that excited about that, but that would be another adventure to maybe try it again. But so far, no. So far, no. I don't have many things that I'm too daring with. I'm just kind of a terra firma girl, feet on the ground, looking up, looking out. I like that. I love things like sitting and writing. To me, that would be an adventure if I just had the time to do nothing but read and write. That's what I would love for a vacation. But most people, when I go on vacations, they want to, let's go, let's travel, let's do this, let's do that. And so I do what the masses do. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. Let's see, agenda. Oh, that's good. Do you like an agenda? Do you like having an agenda, Debbie? Attend, arrange. I love being able to say I have this all down. When I'm traveling, I just need things to be right. When I'm supposed to be, and I don't like traveling with people that are always late. Okay, I need to still iron my clothes. I haven't brushed my teeth yet. I need to go back up to the room. We just had breakfast. Too much. Let's get all of that together. Yes. Me too. Affordable. Ooh, affordable is good. When you're going to have a VISTA, you're going to have a travel. You need to make it worth its affordability. I don't want to make it that they have hidden prices. We stayed at a resort at probably about 5 years ago, and we didn't pay attention to the fine print. And there was one of the fine prints was, oh, by the way, even though we gave you this fee, and I can't remember what the fee was, there was an additional $150 for cleaning of the room. Now, we thought we had already paid that when they had the regular gratuity in there. No. And then there, on top of that, there was a service charge for, it was like room tax and then resort tax. So you have to look at the affordability of it. So that's good. And I don't know, this is the year of exploitation, the years of exploitation. I find that everything that used to be reasonable has gone beyond reasonability. So even if you're looking for something to do, there's very few things that are free. There's very few things unless you can just drive to them. And even those are starting to cost now that you didn't used to. And there are also very few things that don't have hidden costs underneath. So even, my daughter and I were looking at trying to do something, and it says there was an after tax and then, or the total, and she didn't hit the after tax. She hit before tax, and before tax looked good, but after, when you added on the tax, I think it went up like 300 and some odd dollars. What? That's an extra night. That's an extra night. So you just never know. So anyway, with the venture I have, this is unusual. It could be an unusual experience, but it's definitely an activity that you're doing. It could be an escapade, a deed, an experience, a trial. How many of us have tried something only to say we'll never do that again? It could be an episode, an event. It could be a caper. How many of us have been challenged to do something that we didn't think we could do, and we find out that we like it or that we hate it? How many of us have done that? And then it says it could be exploit, and finally, it could be a feat of completion. So anyway, when we think about vistas, we're thinking about things that we see for ourselves. We see ourselves doing. It's in our imagination. It's in our will of want to do. It's in our our mindset as an innovation that would be exciting, maybe something that is an enhancement, something that gives us joy, all of that. But when we look at a vista, we're looking at our vision. We should have an itinerary. We've set our standards high. We're looking as a means of traveling forward, and that it will be a great adventure. So anyway, that's my word for today. And it is Friday, so I'm hoping you have plans for the weekend. I dressed up for y'all today. Usually I have on all kinds of shawls and stuff. It's right here, but it wasn't that cold down here in my house this morning. So anyway, I want you to have a good weekend. Take care of yourself. Plan something that can become your vista for the summer. Maybe if it'd be a 2-day, 3-day, whatever you want to have. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie is so, I love you, Debbie. Activities, I just saw that, and affordable. Yeah, I did say that. So thank you, Debbie. But I got this dress someplace for a real nominal fee. I want to say it was like, I don't know, $15. Every once in a while, I'll find something that I've it wasn't in my original Vista, but once I see it, it becomes the new Vista. And so that's what I did. But everybody have a blessed weekend. Look, if you don't do anything else, hit that share button and let this video be shared so that others will see that there's somebody out here trying to work on, are you stuck, and trying to do a good job at it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Love you much. Be safe. Ciao, bye. See you Monday.